What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started today, I gotta say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I put together a very special build today, and I'm gonna be calling it the 4-way superstar build in NBA 2K23 on next gen. Now, the build is actually going to come out to an inside out score, but with this build, it's going to be one of the very best small forward builds that we can make. We're going to be able to get anywhere off rip from 85 to 90 badges, and then when it comes down to the actual animations and abilities with this one, we're going to be able to get pro contact dunks as well as pro dribble moves. Now, as you can see from the gameplay, we're able to do everything from finish on the inside, play some solid defense, dribble as well as shoot from the outside. Now, when it comes down to this build with the attributes, the ones that we're going to be able to reach a 100 plus for is going to be the driving dunk, our 3-point shot, interior and perimeter defense, steal, block with our offensive and defensive rebound. Now, out of all NBA players today, this build is going to remind me of Jason Tatum, and it's actually one of the best versatile builds that you can take into any game mode. So look, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and more so than anything, be sure to comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to hit y'all back with the response. So as you can see so far, I hope y'all enjoyed what you have seen from the gameplay. Let's go ahead and get started with this build. So we're going to go ahead and first put it under the small forward position. Now, when it comes down to the actual body settings today, this is going to be one of the key factors with maintaining everything from the badges and attributes. So when it comes down to our height today, I'm going to go with 6'10". As for the weight, put this to 200 pounds. And then for the wingspan, I'm going to go with 7'8". Now, if you want to take up the most space for defensive purposes, I would go with built or defined. It really comes down to how you want to go about this. As far as when it comes down to the actual breakdown of the attributes, we're going to be all set to go if you followed. So let's go ahead and get started first with the physicals. So when it comes down to the speed, I'm going to go ahead and put this all the way up to a 79. Now, if you want to make adjustments towards this area, you can do so. And as for the acceleration, I'm going to put this to a 79 as well. Now, I want to be pretty balanced with this build, and I want to be able to make sure that I don't get bullied on the inside. So go with the 55 strength, and then as for our vertical, go ahead and put this to a 75. Right there, we're going to be able to meet the threshold to get contact dunks. And then for our stamina, my preference for every build is going to be at least a minimum of a 90. Now, keep in mind the +4 that we get from our gym rat badge or the Gatorade facility workouts. Now, moving on to the defensive end, I'm going to go ahead and put my interior all the way up to an 80. Now, as for when it comes down to the perimeter, put this to the same exact thing. And then as for our steal, I'm going to go with an 82. Now, for the block on this build, I'm going to put this to a 93. And right there, we already get a good amount of badges unlocked. And then as for the offensive and defensive rebound, go with the defensive of an 87. And then as for the offensive, I'm going to put this all the way up to an 81. Now, right there, we're going to be able to get 28 badges in total. Now, the ones that I'm looking at just off a glance are going to be glove, interceptor, chase down artist with box up beast, but I'm looking at gold anchor and a rebound chaser. Now, this is a good amount of badges, especially to unlock for the defensive end. I think we have a pretty good start going with this build. So as far as when it comes down to the playmaking, I'm going to go ahead and put my speed with ball all the way up to a 72. Now, when it comes down to the ball handle, put this to an 80. And then as for the pass accuracy, I'm going to go with the 73. And right there, we unlock 17 badges. Now, the ones that I like are going to be hyperdrive, killer combos, as well as handles for days. And then for tier 2, I like quick first step. And then for tier 3, I'm focused on silver unpluckable. Now, with this build, you're going to be balanced on all 4 areas when it comes down to the finishing, down to the defensive end. But my favorite part about this build definitely does have to be the defense. Now, moving on to the shooting, go with the mid-range shot of a 78. And if you want to make any adjustments to get certain animations or badges, go ahead and do so as we go about the build making. Now for the 3-point shot, I'm going to go with an 82 and a 75 when it comes down to our free throw. And right there with these 20 badges, I like Amped with the Mini Magician, Space Crater, Volume Shooter. Then we get Green Machine, Agent 3 with Limitless Range. Now the rest of our attributes will be left over for the finishing. But so far I think we're looking good on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Now for the finishing, I'm going to go ahead and put my standing dunk all the way up to an 80. As for the driving dunk, put this to an 86. And then as for our layup, leave this as is. And then for the close shot, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a 76. And right there we get a total of 16 badges. Now with this build off rip, if you followed along with every step, we're going to be able to get 85 badges and then 1 additional badge from each season. Let me know, what are you thinking about this build right now down below? Did you make it exactly how I brought it to y'all? Or did you recreate your own version? Now with the takeovers, this is going to play a huge factor with today's build. So look, as you can see, we get the sharpshooting, lockdown, rim protecting, and the glass cleaning. Now for my best interests, and based off of my own playstyle, the first one that I'm going to pick from is going to be Limitless Range. Now the second one, I'm going to say Extreme Clamps, Paint Intimidation, or See the Future Takeovers are the 3 that I think is going to be best. So let's go ahead and pick Paint Intimidation. Now let's make sure that we made the build correctly, and if you followed along every single step of the way, we should be getting these 3 comparisons. And like I said earlier, we have created together the 4-way superstar, also known as the Inside Out Scorer. Now my favorite thing about this build is that we're going to be able to take it into any game mode, and take also into consideration the badges that we're going to be able to unlock with this build. Now when it comes down to buying your own attributes, that's going to be a +5 towards this build. The better we play, our stats are also gradually going to raise. And then when it comes down to our takeovers, 2 separate ones when activated will give us a +10. And if you do decide to run with a teammate that has on Hall of Fame floor general, that's going to be another +4 towards this area. So I'm going to leave the build like this, but going forward, let's get into the breakdown of these badges. So when it comes down to the finishing, I'm going to go with Limitless Takeoff. I also like Fearless Finisher. And then for Tier 1, the most important ones that I'm looking at are going to be Slithery, also Pro Touch on Gold. And then for Tier 3, the one that I'm going to use my core badge as is going to be Posterizer. Now we have 2 more remaining badges. From here, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Giant Slayer is going to be the best option. Now keep in mind, if you do throw extra badges towards your finishing, you may even be able to get Fast Twitch or Rise Up. It really comes down to how you want to go about the setup. Now when it comes down to the shooting, there's going to be a few different jump shots that we're actually able to pick and recreate from, just to give y'all an idea from this perspective. Now when it comes down to the badges, I'm going to go with Amped on Gold. I really do think that this is going to be one of the most important badges to pick on. Now when it comes down to the next one, I also have to say that Space Crater definitely is one of my favorite badges to run as well. But if you want to, you can change any of the selections based to your own playstyle. Now when it comes down to Tier 2, I'm going to go with Agent 3. And then once we're able to unlock Tier 3, I would definitely have to say that you have to core Limitless Range. Now we have 7 more remaining badge points, so go about this however you would like, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I throw on Green Machine on Gold. Now with the final 2, I'm going to go with Mini Magician, and we're going to be all set to go from here. Now when it comes down to the playmaking, I'm going to go with Killer Combos on Silver. I also like Clamp Breaker, Handles for Days, and then Hyperdrive. Now for Tier 2, I'm going to go ahead and also throw on Quick First Step, and Tier 3 is actually going to be able to get unlocked at this point. So from there, I'm going to go with Unpluckable as our core badge, and then for Tier 2, I'm going to go ahead and put on Vice Grip on Gold. Now for the final badge point, I'm going to put this on Mismatch Expert, and we're going to be all set to move on to the defensive end. So when it comes down to this area, 28 badges, I'm going to start out with Gold Box Out Beast, Chase Down Artist as well. Now when it comes down to the next set of badges, I really think that Tier 3 is going to be the most important. So you can go ahead and pick any core badge based to your own liking. I would definitely have to say that Pogo Stick would be useful, but I'm going to use it on Anchor. Now from there, go ahead and pick Rebound Chaser. We have a good selection of badges remaining, so go with Glove, Interceptor on silver. You can go with Workhorse on gold, but from here, I'm gonna go with Silver Challenger. Now for the final four, I'm gonna go with Post Lockdown, and then also if you wanted to, you can even go with ankle braces. Now this is what the build is going to be looking like when it comes down to the badge layout. Let me know what y'all thought about today's video down below, and if you did make it this far, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to hit y'all back with the response. With all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.